I will be teaching you how to make a coil pot. Here is a list of supplies that will be used during this tutorial. Clay, an X-Acto knife, a rib, slip, which is watered down clay, an object with a round edge, a rolling pin, some cloth, a wooden stick, and slab sticks. The first step in making a coil pot is the base. To start off, you will have to smush out some clay and place the slab sticks on both sides of your clay. Then, using your rolling pin, roll it out and flip it over a couple of times to get the most even clay as possible. Now, take your round object and place it on top of the clay and use your wooden stick to draw the indentations to create a perfect circle. Now take your X-Acto knife and cut out where the indentations are, and now you have your base. Once your base is completed, the next step to making a coil pot is rolling a coil. To roll a coil, get a long piece of clay and just roll it out. You may find that the coil is too long, so you can just take off any extra. And roll until it is even throughout the entire coil. Once you have rolled many coils, you can attach them to your base. To do this, take a coil and using your rib, scratch the surface of the coil and also scratch the surface of the base. Now apply some slip to both the base and the coil. Once slip has been applied, you may put the scratched side of the coil onto the scratched surface of the base. Tear any extra clay off and smooth out the edges of the coil. To add on a second coil, do the same thing. So scratch the coil and the surface of the top of the coil that is currently on the pot. You will want to make the seam for this one on a different spot than the one beneath it, because if they are in the same spot, it will create a weak spot on the pot. Continue doing this until you have reached your desired height. As your pot gets taller, you may want to blow dry it so that it keeps its shape well. Once you have the basics of making a coil pot down, you may want to add some special designs. One special design is a spiral. To make a spiral, use a slim coil and roll it up to create the spiral shape. At the end of the coil, smooth out the edge. Another special design is a sphere. To make a sphere, just roll some clay into a spherical shape. Another special design is a box shape. To make a box shape, take some clay and pound it into the table to make the sides. Once you have got the basic shape, use your fingers to smooth it out to make it look like a box. To attach the spiral to the pot, take the jagged side of the rib and scrape the bottom of the spiral. And also scrape your pot. Then using slip, put that on the jagged surface and attach it together with the pot. To attach the sphere, scratch the surface of your pot with the jagged side of the rib and take the bottom edge of the sphere and scratch it with the rib. Now take some slip and apply it to the scratched up surface on the sphere and attach it with the scratched up part of the pot. To attach the box, scratch the bottom side of the box and scratch a part of your pot. Now take slip and put it on the scratched up part of the box and attach it to your pot. If you do not want to add any special designs to your pot, but you want to add something special to your pot, you may want to change the shape by going in or out. To make your pot go out, you will need a pre-rolled coil, and you will need to scratch the surface of the uppermost coil that is situated on your pot. You will also need to scratch the surface of your coil. You will then need to take some slip and apply it to the scratched surface of the coil. Once you have finished doing that, you will need to place the coil on top of the coil that is currently on the pot and move it outwards very gradually. It needs to be gradual so that the pot does not collapse. Once you have gone as far out as you want to, you may want to go in. To go in, you will need to scratch the surface of the uppermost coil on your pot and also scratch the surface of a coil. Now take some slip and apply it to the coil. To go in, gradually move the coil inwards as you stack it on top of the other coils. Again, it will need to be gradual so that your pot does not collapse. Once you have the structure of your pot completed, you may realize you want to take it one step further by smoothing it out. To smooth out your pot, take the jagged side of the rib and scratch the coils so that you can no longer see the lines where the coils meet. For this part, you may want to make sure that your clay is pretty dry so that the structure stays intact. Once the entire area of your pot has been scratched up, you will want to take the smooth side of your rib and smooth out everything that has been scratched up. Do this to the entire pot. Once you have completely smoothed out your pot, you may want to put some slip on it to smooth out any imperfections. And that's how to make a coil pot.